Hey love, how you doing? I just wanted to give myself just a second to segment intend and bring myself into this space for day 6 and spiritual freedom of this 7-day spiritual vision board challenge. So thank you for joining me. If this is your first time at this spiritual vision board challenge for your business for work-life balance, then welcome. We have a 7-day challenge which is live in July, and then I will do it again annually on the second week of December, Monday to Sunday at 7:30 p.m. UK time. All the links will be down below. So Robin was here, but I'm a couple minutes, 3 minutes later than planned. I have just gone out on my walk, just quickly put my makeup on, which is like not the best kind of, it's a bit, but I wanted, as I was putting it on, because I don't wear a lot, I was like, I had my t-shirt on, obviously, and then as I put my leg up and relax, I was like, let me put my pajamas on. Do you know what I mean? And just come and sit and relax and chill out for this half an hour, 45 minutes with you. And so I wanted to just, I talk about Abraham Hicks, segment intending. So I was just like, I've been out on my walk and I did my live on my personal profile talking about the spiritual business vision board challenge. And then I'm like, okay. And then I chose to go to the shop. And then I came back, and as I came back, I saw some children who had come to the door and asked about a little cat that was lost. And I'm not an animal lover, but I'm like, I saw a cat. I took a picture of it just so I could come back and tell them. So I went one way instead of coming straight home. The children were playing at the park, and I stopped and I asked them, is it your cat? And is this the cat? And so I could have rushed, and I know my stuff, and I needed to prep, and I needed to watch my previous vision board challenge to just prep and get some links ready for you. And I kind of did that, and I got enough. So hopefully it's going to be a great session. How you doing? You're still there? Okay, love, because I did say I'll be 5 minutes. So welcome. As I'm doing this spiritual vision board challenge, what you'll notice about me as I teach and as I coach is I show up. I show up raw and real. I show up, speak out, and I serve deep when I'm not blurry. Come on. When I'm not blurry, and it's Spiritual Freedom Saturday. And what I love to do is live my life intentionally, setting intentions and being in ease, grace, and flow. I don't sit well with divine timing, right? I don't sit well with rushing and pushing and pulling. It sends my own dyslexia off. So this spiritual business vision board challenge is a sacred and safe space to hold space for you and your vision and what you're dreaming of, what you want to have in your life, in every single area of your life. We don't want to leave any stone unturned. And this is a space to honor it. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. I do have my mind map where I'm going to share with you some teachings. I'm going to talk about my spiritual business vision board for life work balance. Excuse me. And then I'm going to take you into Canva, and hopefully you've been doing your homework on a daily basis. If you haven't, I will leave the playlist so you can start at day 1. So this will make more sense. It's going to be a full one in day 1. I really deep dive into that. This is not just sticking pictures on a corkboard or a digital board. It is about a way of life to have more freedom, visualizing freedom, being in alignment with your values, your North Star values, and raising your vibrational frequency every single day. And so hopefully I'm being a model of that, using my own practices and walking my own talk and practicing what I preach. So divine timing is, and we talk about that, don't we? Do you talk about divine timing? We're going to create a vision board, right, for our business and for our light work, for our big vision and our soul mission. I'm making myself blurry by putting my hands in the camera. I'm kind of, and we talk about that, and then we want it to manifest yesterday, but then we say divine timing, and then we say it'll happen when it's supposed to be. Are you someone, and do you notice this in other people, where we say divine timing for the things that we're like, So, you know, when we fear and we don't want to do something, it's like, yeah, it's not meant for us, it's not meant for me, and we kind of give up on it. And when it's something else that we feel like we've manifested on purpose, it's like, yeah, it's divine timing. Everything is divine timing, even when it feels like awful, and even when it feels like shit, right? It's still divine timing. It's just not in our humanness, and sometimes we feel like it sucks. But when we push and pull, and I'll talk about the book that I've been reading today. Every single day, I'm an author. Every single day, I read a book, and I put those books on my vision board because I know I'm always a lifelong learner, and that's one of the reasons why I love the YouTube space. This is a YouTube challenge on my YouTube channel. So if you're subscribed to the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success to Iona, then welcome. If you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, then welcome. I am streaming this out on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, in the groups. Share this out. You know, invite someone in, and you know, do the homework, because the work works. It works if you work it. Robin says, everything is a teaching and a learning, right? Robin says, truth we say, divine timing, and get impatient. I'll say, we know it's happening for our highest good, but then get upset that it's happening. I know, right? And your girl was doing this, excuse me, yesterday. And so I'm always, you know, in that space where it's not just a vision board, and I will get to the vision board. It's not just a vision board that I'm teaching. It is a way of life. It's like, if I'm going to teach you a vision board to create a vision board and a vision, so your mind can conceive of it, you're going to have to believe it in order to achieve it. So there's a gap always, otherwise, obviously, otherwise we'd be manifesting it. And it's like when we want to lean into spirituality, and then the humanness wants to lean back out. And yesterday I was sharing that actually, as I rate my vibrational frequency every single day doing the spiritual business vision board challenge, yesterday my dip was like, no, universe, you're not doing what I asked you to do, and I'm upset with you. And actually, I'm going to speak louder and be quite vocal until you do what I want you to do, universe. And the universe won. And I'll talk about it more in a second. I talked about it yesterday, and I said, you know, I want this workspace. You know, I'm in my office, but I'm going to become a digital nomad, and I'm putting up hey love, how you doing? I can't see who that is in Facebook. Let me know. Yeah, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just record my bootcamp in this space again. I'm gonna do all the things, and everything was freezing up on me. The energy that I was emitting was not cooperating. Something was going wrong yesterday, and I was like, actually, I'm gonna say, nah, the universe, you should be doing what I want. And then I got the idea to live into my 50th birthday, lean into that, enjoy my birthday, and do that after. And I'm like, oh, and then so I booked the Airbnb today, and I'll show you which one that I booked. It's not super far, but it was something that, one was in the budget range that I didn't actually set, and two, felt good, and three, I've got on my vision board Airbnb. So environmental freedom on Thursday, excuse me, sorry, environmental freedom Thursday. I'm processing. I was like, yeah, Airbnbs, because I want to go travel the world and be a digital nomad and do all the things, excuse me. And then on Relationship Freedom Friday, I'm like, I don't even think I'm happy with the universe. This relationship, divine timing, like whatever. And then Saturday, I've got a new environment to work in. Like, that's the way that vision boards work. That's the manifestation. It's just dropped for me. Robin says I still do that too, with the push and pull and be upset. Excuse me. As I create this space for SBYM, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, for YouTube podcasters partnerships for spiritual entrepreneurs with a movement, very specific soul tribe. And one of the things that, as I lead the community and grow the community over the next 7 years, is just really being true and really holding space for each other and really normalizing what is normal as in part of the manifestation, and, you know, letting go and releasing the humanness conditioning, because we know it's up to us now. When you're awake, when you're spiritual awake, 'cause it's Spiritual Freedom Saturday, it's up to us. Like, we can't then cling on to the things that we know that are not even true. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be awake, So I want to be part of creating this new culture. Robin says, still human, aren't we? We are still human. And it's that, for me, it's that mismatch of, I don't want to be in my humanness. And instead of accepting that the humanness is guiding the soul and the soul's guiding the humanness, and it's a dance, it's an energy exchange between the two. It's like, I like one but I don't like the other, and it's that duality, isn't it? We need both, positive and negative. And that prosperity consciousness versus a poverty consciousness, and moving into that, we still dip and we still have that contrast. And I welcome the contrast, don't want it all the time, but you know what I mean? And I would like straight lines, A to B, for success. But unfortunately, it doesn't actually work like that. And manifestation doesn't actually work like that. And I don't know where we actually got that thought that it was. It's the human conditioning that it's in the obstacle. And the book that I was reading on thoughts and thoughts of the language by, I think it's a branch off of Napoleon Hill's books. It's like, the thoughts are a language. And so unless we're familiar, and I'm going off here because this is how I feel called to, our thoughts are tangible, intangible things, but they're still things. And so we know this. And so when we're thinking and we're feeling and we're being pushed and pulled, and when we're not managing our thoughts, and then we say, well, I created a vision board, and the law of attraction doesn't work. The law of vibration does, when we think of, are we emitting the vibrational frequency that we want to witness in the world? And then we take ownership of the vibration. Robin says, normalize what is normal, which is ups, downs, contrasts, ebbs and flows, right? Not all rainbows and butterflies. So in one vein, for me, all society and that conditioning in the humanness, and then in one way in the spiritual community, pretending that it's rainbows and butterflies, or it should be. Either way, neither is. It's like, we find our own truth and speak our truth, and that's why I show up raw and real. So let's dive into what I've got for you today. Let me present my screen. So hopefully this will be really helpful, and you'll track along with me, and you'll find value. And Robin, thank you for being along with me, as Robin is our lead soul guided instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and the Soul Legacy Academy, and she is the founder of the Energy Healing School and host of the Energy Healing Podcast with Robin. So do subscribe to Robin's channel, because spirituality and the energy were energy. When I was going through my spiritual awakening, and before that, I had no clue. Like, we're energy? What's energy? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we work with that energy. 37 signs you are an earth angel. We're not going to actually start there. I resonate with being an earth angel. You might resonate with starseed, crystal, child, or whatever it is, like Lightworker, obviously. But it's that element of, yes, the label. Some people like, don't put labels on. I say it in that voice because that's how I hear it. It's like, but labels and language we communicate by. Robin says, thanks for the shower. You're welcome, love. Always. I'm honored to be here. Oh, thank you. See, my girl. All right, so I want to share this screen. Can you see it? This is my mind map training, which I didn't actually do yesterday, but spiritual freedom. All right, so I've not actually closed down yesterday's Relationship Freedom Friday. Bear with you, girl, for just 1 second. I went out on my walk. I've been moving all furniture today. We started off this 7-day challenge with day 1, contribution freedom. And the reason why I'm recapping just a tiny little bit is because on our spiritual business vision board, that's where it starts. Business, contribution, that's purpose, soul calling, that's a spiritual element. When you're awake and you know that your soul is calling you to do great things and you feel like you're meant for more. Do you feel like you're meant for more? What is your big vision and soul mission? Do you feel like you have one? For me, it's SBYN, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. I have a vision for that. So whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And I absolutely believe it. With the Spiritual Business Woman Network, SBWN, we grew it to 1,200 members in 12 weeks. And it was an amazing community. However, and if I'd have stayed there, I don't know how many people would be in it. It's a couple of years ago now, not hundreds, tens of thousands probably, right? Of growing. However, the spiritual the spiritual biz YouTubers network feels more aligned, because how I want to contribute is from my YouTube channel. This is a YouTube challenge. It's not a Facebook challenge. It's being streamed out into the Soul Legacy Academy. You can watch it on the replay. You can do the homework within the Soul Legacy Academy. It's a mini course in of itself. And if I'd have focused on contributing and being in the environment, which I'll talk about for Thursdays, of just doing it on Facebook, I would have missed the opportunity to leverage it. And so my contribution, Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, but there are not that many people that want to raise their hand, right, and do that work. Like, I want to start a channel, I want to start a podcast, I want to launch a book, I want to do a course, I want to do, but then when we're following that guidance, we say, guys, universe, angels, I have a calling, and we're giving it lip service. So we start with contribution, because if you have a big vision and mission, you want to start there, because that's your soul why. That's your intention. That's your reason for being here on this earthly plane. And I'm about getting around people who are light-minded and who are willing to show up, speak out, and serve deep. And I know, and I believe, as I raise my vibration and I reach out, I will attract those people who are willing to do a YouTube podcast partnership done with integrity. I'm searching for the words. Not list building, but legacy building. For spiritual entrepreneurs with a movement, if you don't have a movement inside of you, nothing I do will resonate with you. So that's why we start at day one. We start at your spiritual business and being a real business owner, because there's a lot of us that don't feel like a business owner. So why am I going to create a vision board with Iona when I don't feel like a business owner? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So when you believe it, right, it becomes magic. Because on day 2 of this spiritual business vision board challenge for life work balance, we're talking about, while you're going for it, while you're saying, hey, universe, we're here. And so today I realized that this is about the teaching, but the spirituality, the spiritual element is pulling through. I feel my energy. I feel it. I feel like there is that shift. I feel like my work comes through me anyway, but I don't know. Like, if I go back to day 1 to now, there's so much that has manifested for me in the last 5 days. Huge. And so if you believe, begin to believe, I can believe with you and hold space for you, while you get your belief muscle, right? Because that's where it starts, the magic of believing. By a guy called Claude de Bristol. If you've not read that book, get it, right? Health, if you're going to be going for it, as I'm going to be going for it, right? I'm like committed to my calling. And I remember saying that all the time. Are you committed to your calling? Commit to your calling. I'll check in with comments in a second. I can't see them at the minute. The health freedom, we talked about your spiritual health, your emotional health, your physical health, your environmental health, your mental health, your emotional health. I talk about your relationships health, your financial health, your environmental health, right? I talk about the health of your business. I talk about the health of your finances. And when I challenge you to bank 50K in 50 days, and it's a thing. And as you're doing all those things, you want to be taking care of yourself. I was having conversations with my ex-husband today, talk about relationship freedom was Friday. And he has had health issues, I will say. I won't talk out his business. It's not my business to say. Health issues over the years, a few years. And he was in my kitchen helping me clear this environment, which we never thought would even be happening. And talking about health and food and how the body processes water and how this and that. And I'm like, I'm like, wow, because this dude was not health conscious, like fast food and stuff. He's like, I don't eat that rubbish. Didn't say those words, said them harsher. And I was like, who are you? And it's like, yeah, and coffee and tea and decaf. And I used to say, have decaf. And he's like, nah. But that health freedom is huge. If you're going to be looking after yourself, if you're going to be contributing in a big way, eating intuitively, sleeping right, nutrition, that's when you're going to be on point. And he said, my ex-husband said, if you're not like getting your sleep and you don't make those decisions very well. He talks about ego, he talks about stuff. I was like, wow, looking after yourself and really going. And everybody's been super supportive of me. Emotional freedom was Wednesday. As you're building this big vision and mission, it can feel quite scary. And so I include all of these areas because that's what I use when I went through my spiritual awakening. It's what I use every single day. I walk my talk and practice what I preach. Yesterday, all of the freedoms, all of these 7 areas, I call them the cheers to financial freedom frequency, emitting that frequency. The living an intentional life, I call them the intentional living codes. They're all interlinked. So yesterday your goal was emotional because things didn't appear to be working out. They were working out for me. The universe knew. But in my humanness, I was like, I am not happy with the universe right now. I'm happy as a person, but I'm not happy with you. I think my emotional freedom is going to dip because my vibration is going to dip because in my human lens, it's not working out for me. And we know that in order to have a big vision and mission, that belief is that emotional feeling, right? Of, when we're fearing, which we do as light workers in the spiritual community, we say that we want to go on this path and we want to build this business, and we fail and we fail and we fail, and we look around. We've told our loved ones that this spirituality, you need to know about the law of attraction. Do you know that you can't think those thoughts? Do you know you need to feel this way? And we're pointing the finger, and then when we're failing hard because it's part and it's normal, then we start to get emotional and we're mad at people that they're not as bothered as we are now about the thing that we said that we were going to pursue. And it's years. Like I was with my ex-husband and I went on this journey in 2008. And he said, what? So I have to change now because I went to a coaching seminar. He took me to as I talk about in my book, the seminar, I don't think I put that in there. He took me to that seminar in London. It was a 2-day coaching weekend. I've got the certificate up here. It was in my office today, pointing at all of my certificates, sharing with his apprentice, like, she's an author. He goes, what do you do? And I said, I coach. And he said, she's an author. Right. And I go, how do you know that I'm an author, stalker? Anyway, so he's pointing to my certificates and saying, our last name. Well, that's not my last name now, but it was my last name. And it's right there. He took me to that and he said, what do I need to change now? We grew apart. And sometimes you do. And sometimes it's an emotional journey. And as you're growing, as you're setting this intention, I had this big vision. Did everybody around me believe it? No, they didn't. I'm going to check in just a second, Robin, if you're typing away. Environmental freedom with this spiritual business vision board is where you want to work. Like, do you want to have a book on Amazon? Have you got a book? How well is it doing? You want to have an online course? Leverage your time, passive income stream so you can travel the world. Your girl is doing it, right? I'm so happy. Like, everybody's buzzing for me. You know why? Because I've been through heck and back, right? And so we had our home repossessed. We didn't have to have it repossessed. It was the space that we were in. I talk about this and I was talking about it in my book. So it's weird now where this young man, I'm coming to your comment. This young man that was is an apprentice with him is saying, why did you guys get divorced? And I said, And he said we grew apart, which we did. And then we were in the shed, and he was clearing all the environment and the sofa and the furniture that we had together. And, you know, there wasn't exactly an agreement of the split of furniture, let's say that. So he lived with me, and I'd given up a lot of my stuff. So it ended up being joint stuff, and I had kids and he didn't. So it's like the furniture, you know, and I still had it, and it was decent, good furniture. Anyway, I was about to throw it out, and I was like thinking of him, and he's popped into my world and he's taken it. And, you know, so we were outside the shed, and I said, oh my God, I've got a wedding album. I threw it out. My son, he's passed 8 years ago. And he said, Mum, you can't do that. And I was like, I don't want it. And when I looked in, we held it today and looked through it, and the pictures are gorgeous. And I was like, wow, I didn't even realize we took so many. And, you know, my son was on there. Obviously, it was 2007, and he's no longer here. His mum was on there. She's no longer here. Do you know what I mean? My dad came out to the States. He's no longer here. Like, really, really go for your dreams. So we're looking at and clearing this environment and doing that. And it's just the universe, spiritual freedom is showing me those cycles. And I feel like there's a stillness and a calm. And we were talking about relationship freedom and soul contracts, right? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to work? Where do you want to live? Our light work and our lifestyle balance, we get to decide whatever the mind of man and woman can conceive and believe it can achieve. So, you know, I put the Airbnb and I'm like all up in it. So yesterday was Relationship Freedom Friday, and I'm going to take you to Canva and create your, this is not just a vision board. It's my life. This is for me first. You know, when we serve, we want to one, walk our talk, 2, practice what we preach, and 3, when we go for an awakening, I believe that we create our own spiritual ascension tools. These are mine: journaling and visualization every single day. And when I'm visualizing, I'm journaling in images. I've got a learning dyslexia, so I'm not a really big writer. I'm capturing images, and I'll show you my journal today. Capturing images, and there's one image of the apprentice on my ex's truck with all of the furniture, and he's like, the sofa is massive modular sofa, and he's laying on it, and I got a picture, but it's not in the journal. So for today, it is spiritual freedom, right? And so without the spiritual freedom that goes through all of the kind of, it's empty, it's an empty life. And, you know, when we have purpose and we have meaning, he was saying, you know, it's not about the money, it's not about, we want the money, we're going to have the financial freedom, but it's that purpose, that contribution, right? And tomorrow we'll talk about financial freedom and having that feel like it's a spiritual. I know if I'm enrolling hard, if people are enrolling in the Soul Legacy Academy, I'm contributing. I've connected it that way. So I just wanted to share that. I'm going to take you into Canva and share my spiritual vision board. I'm going to check in because I just talked for like ages. Robin says, oh, you didn't say lots of things. I thought you did. You did say some things. Okay, thank you, Robin. Robin says, and creating the vision boards helps us to see it so we can start believing it. Yes. And feeling into the feeling. So when I look like, oh, well, you're teaching this vision board, but it's for the intentional living and segment intending and addressing each area every week, and then coming back and reviewing it and managing it and saying, you know, what's working and what's not working in that reflection, and, you know, seeing where we've got that resistance and allowing that to move through us. And imagine if I wasn't focused on Relationship Freedom Friday yesterday, I'd have been so pushed and pulled, like the Mac is not working. It's a new Mac. You know, it wasn't cheap. You know, it cost $2,000, and it's like, you're new. Come on, I bought you so I could do my work. But if I wasn't aware of, oh, well, it's spiritual freedom, I've got my purple t-shirt, and for you, for the third eye, we would just be totally snowballed in the humanness and the poverty consciousness. So absolutely, we can see it. I love that you say that. We can see it, so we start believing it. we start making choices that are in alignment with our vision. You talk about alignment all the time, and that awareness as well, Robin, and assessing it, being aware and assessing and aligning, and being aware that we're not actually walking our talk is by ignoring each area of our life and maybe focusing on one because it feels good. Focusing on spiritual. I'm super spiritual because I have crystals and cards, and I'm being sarcastic, but you get what I'm saying. Robin says, haha, the changes he made over the years too big. I was like, who are you? It's just, we laughed and we joked. He was here all day, well, back and forth. Like, he loaded up so much stuff because I thought he was just going to take the sofa, and not the sofa, the units. They're really gorgeous units. They were his units. He chose them. We lived together, but I was, because obviously the guy didn't know, the apprentice didn't know, and so I gave him books that were on the bookshelf. I was like, do you want your books back? And there was a book called The Lazy Man's Way to Riches, and he wrote in the book, you wrote in the book, there was books on NLP, there was books on the rules of wealth and the rules of life. And I looked back at my spiritual freedom vision board challenge that I did 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, to prepare for today, although I didn't listen to it all. And it said, oh, I found my ex-husband's book on the shelf, and here it was about the rules of wealth. Oh, and that came into my world then again. And I was like, oh, no way, because today I gave him them back. Now, if you'd have told me 2 years ago that I would have been upping and leaving, and he would be in my home in an amicable way, helping me clear, like just absolutely holding space, and gave me a hug on the way out and said, you know, have a good one, or his phrase. And it's like, not just for now, I mean in life, you know, really sincere. And I'm like, wow, you know, absolutely incredible. That was due to health issues. Robin says he knew you. Yeah, I was like, how do you know I'm an author? He goes, she's an author. And I showed him the books, and I said, actually, I've contributed to these 3 books as a co-author. And along my journey, spirituality, this was the first one. I talk about these, and this is why I've created my co-author book series, if you don't know. Empowered women of social media, over 100 women, it was 44 women when I first went in, 100 women found their voices using the power of social communities. Before it was sort of social media. So I showed them where I featured, and my chapter was called Rising Above Adversity. Huge. And then this book, this is like soulful message, 365 soulful messages, and each co-author book that I featured in has helped me shape mine. And so it says the right guidance at the right time. And I talked about leaving my soul-sucking day job, and it was time to turn my wounds into wisdom, spirituality. Then the third book that I co-authored in is the Secret Child Life After Loss, which is my favorite one because it's dedicated to my son. Our life, our loss, our soul guidance. And yeah, it says soul guidance, our love, our loss, our soul legacy, actually. And so each one came to me over the years, and has just been an honor to be part of, and so that's led me to wanting to create my own co-author book series with a companion journal that we can actually live into this. This is me living through and recently going through a spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul, breathe, let go, triggered through burnout is huge. So, you know, I said, how do you know? And he goes, I said, stalker. And he said, no, just Facebook. I said, when you're not friends on Facebook with the ex-wife, that's called stalking. And we just laughed. You know, it's nice. Robin says, never would predict this day or experience. No. And how many days do you know what I mean? When things come full circle and cycles are ending, that's that spiritual, the allowing and not being angry and not being in the human and not being You know, there was a lot of stuff in the house that had memories, which if they have memories for me and they have memories for him, that's energy. This clearing and looking after these children in this home for the last 3.5 years, for the last 3 children, for the last year, has brought me to this space of surrendering. And the people that are around me, it's like, wow, you know, if this didn't happen, then this happened, and this didn't happen, then this happened, you know. And so I want to say for your spiritual business vision board is, you know, because I was with him when I learned about coaching. I didn't know what coaching was. His brother was going through a divorce, and he ended up going to a life coach, and I didn't know what that was. And he was telling us, and I was like, oh. And so, and then I came across the coaching industry. It's massive. And the reason why I want a barn conversion, my environment, is because of his work. So there was so many things that he came in. We come for a rhyme and a reason and a season. And that genuine come back, hang on, that doesn't feel, give me a hug. And having conversations, because I was like, when we were on Messenger, I'm like, dude, like, what is this? Why are you telling me your life? And I think it was that I said, I know that you've changed and I'm really happy that you're happy. And it's sharing and that shedding, like, I'm different. I'm different from what I was before. And I felt it and I saw it for myself. So legacy. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? When you're not friends with your ex-husband's girl's dog. Just showing up raw and real. I'm just saying. But I was thinking about him and he showed up in my world. But he was obviously thinking about me too over the time, right? Energy, it's energy, it's energy. Let me just share my screen again and walk you through this Canva vision board, because that's what we're here for, right? Let me walk you through this. So again, contribution freedom, what is on your contribution freedom board. Have you done your homework? Have you posted it in the private student community in the Soul Legacy Academy? Have you posted it in the Facebook group, which is over here somewhere, I think. No, not that one. Don't know if it's that one. I don't know if that's mine or yours, Robin. Neither. That's not. That was a private message that you didn't need to see. Don't screenshot it. Yeah, over in the fit. There I am. Woohoo! Oh, it's not today, is it? That's not today. That's day 5. Why am I not streaming live in the group? Do I refresh it? Probably start talking. There I am, somewhere. There I am. Woohoo! There's me on my walk. There's Robin posting her homework. Oh, you did day 5. I did not see it. Yes. Robin is the best ever. This is where you post your homework or in the private community. Watch on there. Thank you, Robin. Oh, I can't wait to see your relationship freedom Friday. Thank you. So contribution freedom, we started. Health freedom, that's my stuff. Watch me manifest, baby. Beachbody, committed, emotional freedom's huge, environmental freedom. And so it was 2 days ago that I put the Airbnb on there. I booked Airbnb, but I wasn't expecting to book an Airbnb so soon. And let me just go to the Airbnb. These are going to be my views for like 3 days or so. I don't know if that's the second image. Just that little table right there, visualize. You know, when you go on, and this is part of the environmental freedom, and one of the things that I do is go on an Airbnb. I've got a wish list. I can't show you it because it'll show you all my details and stuff, but I do in the mastermind and in my teachings and stuff. So one of the things that we do is doing this vision board challenge is play the soul income game, finances, and I'll talk about it on day 7. Spending vibrational money. So when we're putting environments and Airbnbs and retreats and cruises on our vision board, it might make you feel like, oh, I don't believe. I'm seeing it, but I don't believe it. My mind's saying you can't even afford that. So why are you even bothering? However, the Soul Legacy Journal, let me see what you can see. The Soul Legacy Journal gives you £1,000, dollars, or euros every single day. So you can journal with me and you can go to Airbnb. This is what I've done and I keep doing. go to the Airbnb, excuse me, choose a destination, choose like in this next year, because this is what this vision board challenge is for over the year, and choose when you would like to vacation. Choose where you would like to go, and how many adults, children, and whether it's a pet-friendly place or it's by the lake or a barn or a tiny home. Or they actually have so many categories on Airbnb now. It's amazing. Beachfront properties in your price range. You can filter out all super hosts, all the things. So I go on there and I visualize and I spend my vibrational money. I tithe 10% every single day. I encourage you to tithe 10% every day. And when I oh, my granddaughter, ooh. Oh, she just, oh, that is beautiful. That ping was, oh, wow. That lights me up. Wow. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was saying. That's just like that. She's my love, right? On my vision board. And so you spend this money, this vibrational money, Robin will help me out. Spend this vibrational money every single day and tithe 10%. So you have £900, dollars or euros every single day, whatever is your currency. And if it's something that costs a little bit more than that 900, so the bank 50k in 50 days challenge, which this is my thing, is we do it vibrationally first so we can see it and believe it and physically, as much as we're tricking the brain because it thinks in images, it doesn't know the difference. Trust me, it doesn't. And then we do it in the visible world. So I've gone to Airbnb as I was like, well, where could I do my work then? If this is being hard and my Mac's freezing, where could I do? And so I will go on somewhere and I will visualize myself sat at that chair. And then when I get to that chair, because it's all booked now, when I get there, I will take pictures being in that space. And then the next time I visualize, it adds on to that feeling. Does that make sense? It's only a little place. It's only for me for 3 days. I love nature. I can see myself sitting on the sofas. That's fine. It's got the barny kind of feel. I can see myself sitting on that bench. Right? Is that good? And that's the bedroom. Like you just wake up, just right now where I am is not like that. So I can see myself just, you know what I mean? Like, is that nice or is that nice? And we used to have kind of like seating like that, all the wooden stuff. Is that water over there? No, it's not water. I can't swim, but I love water. Is that cool? Is that cool? Let me come back. Robin says, oh, did you say anything? There's loads of comments. Thank you, Robin, for engaging. Robin says, yeah, I did day 5 last night. Thank you, Lord. You're so amazing. Talk about master manifester. You are a powerful manifester. I know that. Put the Airbnb on just 2 days ago and boom, got it. But thank you, Robin. Notice put the Airbnb on 2 days ago, get the contrast, release the struggle, then get it. So we don't, and if I hadn't have talked about, oh, well, this felt really hard, like what is going on? My human says, do it now, like you better comply. And look, so if I would be in the resistance and think this is wrong, like this is, and I'm hormonal, so I have a teary day, a tired day, and I napped today. Actually, I fell asleep on my couch while they've gone off and done like a dump run and dropped my washing machine at my niece's, and she was actually messaged me, the same niece that I gave the car to, and she's like buzzing, and her washing machine had been playing up and I didn't know. I was like, do you want to wash her? I love it. Robin says, yes, it makes sense. I fell into that working at the hotel, sitting in the RV, imagined traveling more. Yeah. And picking the routes and going in and sitting in the RV. And I know when you were sharing your homework about the RV that you've got, like you don't feel comfortable with it, that particular one. So there'll be resistance around that'll come into the vibration of it. So it's like, just make the decision to do that one or a different one and go. They say, don't they, go and sit in it, hire it, do all the things. Robin says that is beautiful. I can't wait to see the pictures when you're there. Yeah. Isn't that lovely? And I didn't budget for it. It's not like your girl's, millionaire status. That's $1 million framework for my spiritual business. And I'm trusting that. And I'm relaunching again after being offline for over a year. Well, 2 years really. And a year fostering. And doing my own bank 50K in 50 days challenge. I'll talk about it on Financial Freedom Sunday, and tweaking. And that's why I'm recording my bootcamp over again. And the bootcamp is like years that I've done it, and I've been walking that talk. And so it's important to me. And I'm like, oh wow. But the surprise that my daughter gave me, like, Mom, I'm taking you away for 4 days for your 50th birthday. Let's just weigh it up. And then, because she's done that, then I've got this beautiful space. Robin says, yes, get the contrast, release the struggle, aka release the energy blocks, then get it, boom. And so Robin obviously is the founder of the Energy Healing School, and Robin will support you with resistance and clearing. I'll help you get clarity. And at some point, there's going to be some kind of resistance. I'm not trying to speak it into existence for you, but it's part of the process. And, once we embrace it, yeah. Oh, manifest a driver for this RV. So Robin will use the humor, right, to deflect stuff. And then she'll come back around. She'll be like, okay. So the reason why I say go to Robin for resistance, because Robin knows resistance. And Robin's like, oh. And I said, all the people, all y'all, can go over to Robin. Thank you, Robin. Okay, manifested driver. And the driver is not me. You are my driver. So yeah. Isn't that beautiful? I wanted to share that with you. So the air, but notice on where the barn and the beams are, and notice, hang on. Notice the feel of the one that I chose. Notice the feel. Notice the feel. My granddaughter was messaging me. So, do you see that? The beams? I'm going to be looking up, feeling all bonzy. That's the barn door. Just saying. All right, let me go into let me show you so journaling. I love journaling. And so this is me giving a thumbs up on my walk to my daughter. She's gone out with her friend. I'm like, thumbs up. I actually gave my ex-husband the book, The 5 Love Languages. And so I gave him back his own books. And it just is. And I said, have you heard of the 5? And he's like, no. And I was explaining the concept, and the young man that was there, and we were talking about ego, and he said, blah, blah, blah. And so we were telling him about it. He's like, what? He was 17. So I was looking at my old vision board to prep. And that's what I'd said on there. I also said on that vision board challenge was, and this, I didn't take a picture of it, but this is what came up for me. Let's see what you can see. It said, let me show you this. Hang on. It said, I was doing my event, my #1 Divine Intervention virtual event, and I wanted to host my summit, and I'm back around to hosting my summit. It was called the #1 Divine Intervention event, virtual event. And I said that I told the story of when I met my twin flame and him being gifted this book, Raise Your Vibration by Kyle Gray. And this is what we're doing. We're raising our vibration, right? And so Kyle Gray is the guy. Oh, look, high vibe tools to support your spiritual awakening. I don't even know if it said that. Like, wow. I've just noticed that it said that. I think, new edition. My Amazon Prime is membership. I knew that was on there because I just cancelled it today. So Keepers of the Light, right, is on here. And I bought that in 2017. And so it's by Kyle Gray. And so the Keepers of the Light cards came to me. Hang on, let me just put my vision board back on. Came to me, Spiritual Freedom. And they came to my twin flame, like Calgary. So when the Keepers of Light came to me, and I was like the Oracle deck, and I was going to be one of his card readers, blah, 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 learning. And he said, look in the deck and see if you see like a family member. And I share this, and I'm going to share it again. And in it was this card. I'll get it right. Don't worry. I'll get it right. This card, right? Can you see it? It's called the Divine Director. So my summit was called the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event. It was about purpose, fulfilling your life purpose, and getting paid in the process. The Divine Director Intervention, the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Now, when I was on my walk and I was walking back, I watched the previous training and I heard myself saying this. And then this is the picture. And then I saw myself doing this. You can't really see, there's the ring light on me. This is my son and I was showing this picture to my ex-husband because I hadn't seen him for over a decade. I said, oh, that was, and obviously my kids called him dad. And not, I hadn't seen him since Dad had passed. And so I was showing the young man, and he's got a picture of him on the motorbike. And so looking at that, as like, oh, I'm being guided. And we were talking about happiness being your purpose. And I do believe in that. I do believe in the signs and the synchronicities. So I've gone to the shop on my way back, and this is how manifestation works. And I've gone to go get like a little card. It's in the UK, it's a Tesco's. You have like a Walmart or something. And you have this little token thing that gets scanned when you pay something. It gives you like points, right? Reward points. And I went it came off my keyring the other day, and I went to go get it and feel for it, and it wasn't there. What I felt was, oh God, and I didn't take these, I didn't upload these pictures. I felt something, I pulled it out as a picture of my son. And as I'd come back off my walk, as soon as I came out of the shop, I saw motorbikes, and he passed on a motorbike. He gives me those motorbike signs because it makes me pay attention. And he always gives me 2 or 3. And there was one, as I walked out, the one drove off, and then there's another guy standing there, and I took those images. And my son's on my vision board, right? And so he can't speak to me. So there's ways that you get those guidance, and you trust. And I'll share my vision board again, and then I will respect your time and help you create your vision board. Robin says, hang on, sorry. Robin says, deflect and deflate resistance helps break it up. But yes, I know resistance well. It does. And that's how you've said to me, oh, well, that's kind of what I do when I shed, like don't make it feel icky. You can't be like super when you're laughing and you're joking, but people do deflect and use that. I thought the same, bank version Airbnb style. It's cool, isn't it? Thank you. Let me see. All right, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. This one. All right. So on my vision board, and Robin's been doing her homework, so I'm really excited to see your vision boards, Robin, and how much you've grown and how much you've evolved. I'm just going to take a sip of water and then share what's on my vision board. And then I've got a couple of articles to refer to, and then that's it for today. Hang on. So you see, my spiritual vision board, my granddaughter, which was yesterday, I was talking about her, she's 9. And she's not long got a little phone, and she's messaging me. I don't speak to her all of the time. I don't see her as much as I'd love to. I would like to. So I got to see her like twice in a week, twice in a week. The other week, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh, and I was just emotional. And just to see that, it really lights me up. So that was yesterday. So it's just really, and then I get the sign from my son. Right. And I get the reminder, oh, the vision board was 2 years ago. And I'm holding up these cards. I'm holding up that picture. Like, that's how it works. It's just amazing. So my spiritual freedom vision board is the dark night of the soul, just to remind me that It's normal. Plus, there's like this bubble, and you know, sometimes our bubble gets burst, but sometimes, you know, that the sky. I love sky gazing. It just represents that duality for me, the dark night and the light. Start with purpose always. 555. And you know, when I see the mirror signs, I'm going to talk about that in a second. It just, those are my confirmations all day long, getting them. 11:11 we get, and that's why I say I do the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast at 11:11 every day. Your spiritual ascension party, and we have the after show. So this was me doing my number one divine intervention virtual event. However, I wanted to do a summit, and I came back online with my telechat show. I was mentioning that in that live. And now I have the Spiritual Awakening stories and the Spiritual Awakening YouTube summits on YouTube. They were all my summits were on YouTube, but not in this way. They were through Hangouts at first, then through Zoom. Now it's through StreamYard, but it's organized, it's scheduled out for 7 seasons annually, 7 years, 7 months. Sevens, right? Get it? Spiritual. Originally, it was 49 episodes for 49 days straight. Who does that? And there were 20-minute Google Hangouts. And now it is 42 episodes over the 7 months on the 2 middle Wednesdays of the month. I call them Binge Watch Wednesdays, 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. UK time, where I'll have guests coming and sharing their spiritual awakening stories. Big into how people's journey is unfolding and how they're manifesting and how they're going through their spiritual ascension, how you can come after the shows and share your own spiritual ascension and celebrate and alchemize and all the things. And we'll have a spiritual alchemy giveaway from the guests in the Soul Legacy Academy. I just made what I'm passionate about and want to learn into a job. And so that is scheduled out for the 7 seasons, 42 episodes. And I was like, oh, why is that not 49 like it was before? And Robin said, well, I saw it. The seven spiritual ascension after show parties over the 7 months make up the 49. So this was 2015, 16, when Daniel passed in 2015. And so I was doing my summit. I honored that. After he passed, I came off for like 7 weeks, and then I served for a year, and I did my summit. And it was just like, you know, it's taken me this time to feel into it. I did another summit when I came back online. I went offline to help and heal myself first for about 3.5 years. And then I came online with a legendary light leaders telechat show. It wasn't quite right. I did it with Facebook group leaders, which was amazing. And it still wasn't. And I did the Zoom into YouTube. And now I feel like I've got it down. And it's on YouTube, and we subscribe, and I'll share. You know, it just feels it's scheduled. Literally, I talk about scheduling my business, and that's one of the things that I scheduled out. I didn't want to do it for 49 days straight because that's insane. And I wanted to leverage it, and I wanted to create those joint vision partnerships. And that's why, you know, it goes really well with the Spiritual Biz YouTubers network for YouTube podcasters, partnerships as spiritual entrepreneurs with the movement. It's huge, isn't it? That the world light, let us bring the light. Can I get an amen? So legacy journal, meditation. I haven't done meditation for a few days. That's maybe why I was wonky, but it's been helping me, right? As Robin and I have been doing Robin's self-care challenge and this intentional living. Money, spiritual, it's just energy. Bank 50K in 50 days. Do it vibrationally first. Rounded, the beach is like one of my favorite places. And I was at the beach the last weekend. Hello, 444. This is actually my daughter's body on her leg. Last year for my birthday, she was doing me a 7-day experience of that, as I mentioned, throughout this week. And one of them was to get a tattoo, a matching tattoo. That is the back of my neck on that, the 444s. And I was like, and I think my soul daughter's got it as well now. And I was like, really? And she was giving me experiences every day, but this one, she doubled up the day before. She's like, I thought I'd have to tell your mum the day before. And I was like, dude. And I said, what about numbing and stuff? And she's like, no, I think they do it there. When we got there, they're like, yeah, we don't numb. Just this late. And I was like, I looked at her and I was like, ugh, if I cry, and I'm not good with pain. We've got the co-author book series that you can be a part of if you resonate, and if you come to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at SoulLegacyTV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona, and you'll find it. You find the masterclass and it goes live on there, and I will show you. Asking it is given. Ask, people, ask. The Untethered Soul. Love that book. But I was listening to a different book today. YouTube podcast, YouTube summit, YouTube podcast. End of. It's just beautiful. Me and my purple t-shirt. Love it. And then the 7 energies. And so it's third eye chakra healing in Robin Knott's world. And we are blending as joint vision partners our businesses. And you know what? I didn't realize just how connected they were. We both didn't realize how connected we were. We knew that we resonated, but the more we travel this path, the more that it just is so aligned. Oh, sorry, I left that on there. Amen. Did I say can I get an amen? I don't know what I say half the time. I just talk. Bring the light in the world. Bring it. Bring the light. Holding space for light. All of us. It's exciting. 444 on the back of it, just here, just there. And she's like, yeah, where would you want it, Mum? Because like a few days before, she was talking to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, I have my tattoo. I think I'll probably have it there. I'm not a tattoo person at all, but I've got one on my lower back, and it says love, and it's a love heart, and it's got a child and a love heart in memory of Darnell. And she's like, you've got 2 children, you know. I'm like, I know. So we got a matching tattoo. No, they don't know. Girl. So every year on the 1st of August, so my birthday's on the 3rd of August, but my mum and my dad, he wasn't my biological father, but raised me, he's my dad, who passed 10 days after my granddaughter was born. Their wedding anniversary was on the 1st of August. They were not together when he passed. They hadn't been together for years. And I wasn't even around when they got married. However, I just feel it. So I try and set something to do, a bucket list item. It just reminds me, and everybody that knows me knows it's like 1st of August, just go and do something crazy. And so this time it's on the 3rd, as close as I can get it. So this time it's on the 30th of July. Tomorrow, I'm going to fly an airplane. Why? Why? And then next year, I'm going to do the Tough Mudder that I mentioned on Health Freedom Tuesday. I'm going to do the Tough Mudder that is on the 10th of August. Hang on. Robin says, I had no idea either. It comes so clear how aligned they really are. Yeah, blended. Our work is blended. It's beautiful. Robin says, I have a memory that as well, just one. Oh, a memory tattoo, do you? Yeah, is that the one? I know where it is. I'm not going to talk out your business. Robin says, I'm sorry, love. I have to start dinner. We'll be back for the parts I missed. Love you, billions. Thank you for doing all this training for us. You're welcome. I need to go faster, right? Thank you, love, for spending this hour with me. So let me go to, thank you, Robin. Earth Angel. Earth Angel meaning, that's how I resonate with being an Earth Angel. These are the people who seem to be happy all the time, for the most part, and for no reason. And I say that, and people go, you can't be happy for no reason. And then they just seem to enjoy all the beauty that surrounds them in my element, in my Airbnb. They are a shining bright light that shines out into the universe, making others feel loved while expecting nothing in return. Can I get an amen? I've never seen that one. Right, 37 signs you're an Earth Angel or something else that you resonate with. So what are Earth Angels? Earth Angels are spiritual beings born into physical form. They have had many different lifetimes, and I'm learning, and have chosen to be, I haven't read this one, to be born into our physical world at this time. They are evolved spiritual beings. They are angels. These angels are seventh and ninth dimensional angels incarnated into physical form. Is that right? In order to be born as a physical human beings, they lowered their vibration. This is why we raise our vibration. I've not read this. Woo, woo, with the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast, right? Damn. Why are they here? So I'm learning, like, learn with me. Like, let's go. Can you see this? How cool is that? They are here. They come here to serve humanity and the earth. I just feel the call of my soul. I cannot not do it. You know, when people are choosing, like, yeah, I'm just not going to do that today. I can't. I literally can't. Number 2, assist all souls in the awakening and ascension process. I have not read this. This is how it works. Robin, really? Why would you go now? Right, what minute is it? I'll tell her what minute this is. It is 1:05. Okay, it's an hour. Number 3, I'm learning. I'm going to read the whole lot to myself, so I won't read it all to you. 3, this is what it feels like. Helping anchoring the timeline of light, love, and peace to bring the earth and humanity into a golden age of co-creation. Yes. Can I get an amen? Robin, can I get an amen on the replay? These angels came with a wake-up call. They were born with a time to awaken. So leaning into it over the last 2008, and it's 2023. Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Keep going. This could be a series of events and happenings, lessons that need to be learned. Oh, wow. In order to awaken to their divine truth, although they are physical beings, they retain the connection to their higher angelic counterparts. Just saying. Keepers of the light. Also, I need glasses. I have Erlen and dyslexia, so really I should be reading through blue glasses, and that bright light puts off my processing. So all souls come from the same divine source, obviously, right? Not special, just that's the purpose. But there are many different paths souls can take, which shape their characteristics, missions, and even personalities. I love that. And yours is yours. Let me know what yours is. Earth angels are people whose soul origins, hang on, I wanted to, yeah, are from beyond Earth, which we all are, who spent a great deal of time in the higher spiritual dimensions of love and light. Their desire is to bring peace, love, and light to all beings. While everyone on Earth now is a spiritual being, obviously, not everyone is an Earth angel. Earth angels are highly spiritually evolved as souls. They vibrate with an incredible light and have been called on Earth on a mission to serve as light workers. Can I get an amen? I don't know why. It just is. What does it mean to be an earth angel? There are 37 signs. I'm not going to go through all of these. You can Google it, but I will leave them in the Soul Legacy Academy, and I will give you homework to do, right? This is the homework in the Soul Legacy Academy. It's $7.77 to upgrade. Let me pop the thing. So it's Soul Legacy Academy. I think I posted that 4 times. SoulLegacyAcademy.com/courses/vision board. And inside the Soul Legacy Academy, I have put all of these vision board challenges there for you so that they're organized. So every single year, you'll see your own evolution and your own growth. And we're on this journey together. I also have a quiz that is taken from my 7 Freedoms Frequency call-in gym. So it's taken from my $77 a month group coaching call and the online training portal that goes with that. So I'm going to gift you a call if you enroll in that before this live challenge is over. You've got 1 more day. And then I'll do the live challenge again in December annually on the second week in December, Monday to Sunday at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So in there, I will gift you the call and I will gift you the quiz to support you moving from seeing where you're at with a poverty consciousness to a prosperity consciousness. And I had that when I was leaving my home 11 years ago, right? It's just incredible. So there's the homework. Hang on. And there's that's not even the 7 Freedoms call. That is a call that I will be doing on my next masterclass. I will be leaning into this. It's for spiritual biz YouTubers. So I have a new group called it's for the SBYN, Spiritual Biz YouTubers Podcasters Partnerships for Spiritual Entrepreneurs with a Movement. Within the group, like the subset from that is this 7 Freedom Spiritual Business Vision Board Challenge, but how to start a spiritual biz YouTube podcast and make money challenge. And in that, I'm going to be offering a one-on-one call to start a spiritual biz YouTube podcast, an online course, group coaching, and book launch breakthrough session for spiritual entrepreneurs with a movement. I just decided that today. And I'm going to do a boot camp starting probably October, where I'm going to support you in writing your book, getting your course, getting your all the things. So watch out for that. There'll be a link in the group in this group. Let me just show you. Hold on. And so this is the YouTube podcasters partnerships for spiritual entrepreneurs with a movement. You join that, and then the link to the 5-day to start a spiritual biz YouTube podcast and make money challenge, it will be in this group. So I've got my book, Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul guided influencer's compass to leverage your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. And I have my masterclass as well. Okay, so you can come and join me. I have my 7-day challenge, another spiritual biz YouTube challenge in September. It's called 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit challenge for soul guided influencers. So that happens the 3rd week of September annually. It's live, it's free. There's replays on the YouTube challenge now. And I gift you a media kit. What we want to do is be getting out there, getting your gifts out there, contributing, sharing your spiritual awakening story, sharing your spiritual ascension tools that you've created, and alchemizing our light work. So there's the replays, and we'll actually do the next challenge as well. Okay, just thought I would share that. I hadn't planned to, but I am going to be doing that, and I'm going to be reaching out to you if you're watching that, if you're in my space. 6 reasons why you're seeing 444. This project was built on the 444s. Again, I'll leave all of the homework and all the things in the Soul Legacy Academy. Mirror signs were big for me. When I wrote this book, I wrote Time to Turn Your Wounds into Wisdom with a 1333. I started to see mirror signs a lot. Look it up. Look at what you're seeing, the mirror signs that you're seeing, right? In my angel of faith. So Robin talked about faith, and Janae Marie talked about faith yesterday. What else have I got? I think that is a wrap. I think we're all good. So what I want to do is go to my mind map and give you your homework for today. So rating your vibrational frequency, whether you're in soul funk or soul flow. So this wheel is similar to the wheel of life. I'll just have a sip of water and I'll explain what it is, just as a recap. And if you're new to me, because this is what makes the whole challenge work, that spiritual energy. Ouch. Did you hear the clink? You ever tried to drink on camera and it spills on you, or you like hear yourself? It's just, yeah. Let me just see what you can see. Okay, cool. All right. So this is what I call the soul legacy wheel. This is what I've been talking about. This is what I'm doing. This is what is helping me manifest my vision board. I have every single area on my vision board. And, you know, after this last year of experiencing burnout and going through a dark night of the soul, leaning into relationships more so, it's now the 29th of July. On the 24th of July was the last day after almost a year of being a foster carer. And on that day, I actually have been speaking to someone, a soulmate kind of tie. Whether something comes of it, I'm ready to manifest my husband. And I was saying that to my ex-husband today. And, you know, I said, that's it for me, you know, blah, 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 blah. As I do this, and I realized about the legacy that we're leaving. For me, it wasn't just the wheel of life, like me living my life. It was the legacy. Like, the life that I'm living now is the legacy, and who I live it with, who I share it with, that's our legacy. That's an honor and a blessing. So that's spiritual in and of itself. So I call it the soul legacy wheel. And instead of you thinking about the law of attraction, things coming to me, I need to attract. We think of the law of vibration. I need to emit the frequency. So I say the 7 freedoms frequency. So the 7 freedoms frequency podcast will be daily about these 7 topics, 7 areas of our life for our light work and our lifestyle balance, harmony, really, and how they're entwined and how the 7 freedoms are entwined. The 7 freedoms is shortened and it has an acronym. So this is about living in alignment with your values and living an intentional life. So when you live an intentional life, you're living in alignment with your values. And I call these the intentional living codes. So I shorten it down. So the intentional living codes, and then the C.H.E.E.R.S to financial freedom frequency. So here's the C.H.E.E.R.S to financial freedom, frequency. Contribution freedom on a Monday. Every single Monday we talk about it. Health freedom Tuesdays, emotional freedom frequency Wednesdays, environmental freedom frequency Thursdays, relationship freedom frequency Fridays, spiritual freedom frequency today, Saturday. Then we'll talk about the frequency of financial freedom. Now notice everything has a frequency. We don't make money a worse frequency than health, than emotions, than environment, because the money is one of the tools that's going to help you in your relationships, in your environment. I couldn't stay in the Airbnb, so I've got something on my vision to manifest. I needed the money for that environment. I need that money to do YouTube ads. I need that money to do a retreat. I need that money to eat organic and healthy food. I need that money because if I don't pay my bills and a roof over my head, which I'm giving up my home, rather than struggling after a year of not bringing in the income for my spiritual business, living in my purpose online, and it's sitting there. I mean, not enrolling and not getting on calls and not doing all the things, which I love to enroll hard. And when I did my own Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, I set that, I envisioned it first. I did it vibrationally first, and I enrolled 32K in 37 days, I believe. And then it fell apart because I was just like, I can't sustain this model. So I've been refining the model, and I've got even more beautiful model that I'm bringing out. But it's connected. My contribution freedom and my financial freedom are connected. And what I want us to do is have everything else in between, in the most spiritual way. So we want to be raising our vibrational frequency, right? And when we unblock one area with Robin Knott, the resistance, and release it, and have our thoughts and our feelings actually in alignment, then the magic happens. So we rate between a 1 and an 11 every single day. So rate your frequency. We've been doing this all week. So my contribution freedom was an 11. And what that means is you can score between 7 and 77, again, the 7s, in a week. So when your score is low out of the week, we total it for the week. When it's low, it's like, oh, well, which areas made it dip even more? So I say when we're living intentionally, our visible world, this world in the middle, doesn't have to change. Like, my physical world didn't change, I changed. When I was looking at my Mac saying, why the heck are you not working? Like, what is wrong? That didn't have to change for me to make the decision to do something different. Then it changed. It freed up, and I was like, oh, I'm still going to the Airbnb. I made a different decision. I made a decision in that contrast. So we get to rate a feeling in soul funk or feeling in soul flow. So I was in deep soul funk, not really deep, but I was in soul funk, and I was like, what is going to move me up the emotional scale? I talked about this in emotional freedom, going down the scale from frustration and overwhelm to boom, fear, right? And then coming up with a bit of positivity and hopefulness and optimism. And then in freedom and love and joy and empowerment. And now I'm showing you and I'm loving the environment, right? So, we rate ourselves between a 1 and 11. Soul funk, soul flow. We don't get a 0 because we're breathing. That's not a choice. So 11 is that 11-11 gateway, right? Oftentimes when we wake up, we see the 11-11, that spiritual element. So every single day we've got that energy, and that spiritual energy, the spiritual energy of finances, the spiritual energy of relationships, right? I thought of my ex-husband, and he was here and he helped me clear. It's massive, right? And so we've got a North Star, our values, our vision, our values, and our vibration are right here in alignment at these 7 points. The 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast is based on that. So what would you rate yourself today? So for Soul Funk versus Soul Flow, it was contribution 11. I'm here. I'm showing up every single day, right? Haven't got the engagement. I didn't have time to really reach out and do all the things that I normally do to really make it pop. I went on the beach and took my great niece for, we spent the last 3 days together of her being in my care. I'm good with it because this is being repurposed and it's being shown out onto the Soul Legacy Academy for my students. It's marketing and it will be there till December, and then I will do the next round, right? So 11. Health, 11. Robin and I are doing our self-care and the fitness challenge, although I've dropped off and I've got to go double up and it's 9 o'clock. I'm doubling up. Emotional freedom, 11. Environmental freedom for me was, I think it was about a 7. So it dipped. Well, what's going on? Relationship freedom, 11. Spiritual freedom, 11. And then I will rate financial freedom. So the one that dipped brought my vibration down. How do you feel? How do you think I feel about my environment now? I just had the most amount of help. I've got so much less things to do. We were chatting all day rather than me thinking, oh, there was no way would I have been able to record today. And tomorrow I've got a flying lesson, so I wouldn't have been able to record anyway. It's like recording a whole boot camp in a short space of time while I'm doing this, while I'm doing that. It's like, pause, dude, you're okay. So now I was up and I was up late, and then I got up this morning and I cleared out and did I take pictures in mine? I think I did. Yeah, I did. All right, I'd stopped there. So I took the pictures. All my cupboards empty. Thoughts is what I was reading. Napoleon Hill's The Language of Thought. Leverage your thoughts to achieve your desires. I made lots of, that's me on my soul path pulling face. Leveraging your mental resources, the mind, controlling your mind, thoughts, the things, they're intangible. Where you are in your physical environment is going to influence your thoughts, what you've been brought up like and where and who with. Obviously, I had my great niece and nephew and fostering them, and hopefully I've put some seeds as they get older. The law of success is about our dominating thoughts, and that creates that influences our personality, our ego, the fear, negativity. So I just made some notes. Thoughts like you have that temporary defeat, and he says think of that and improve our mental and our behavioral habits and attract the opportunities. And when it feels like temporary defeat, which it did to me, then you actually manifest the miracles. And people pick our thoughts, what I put, intention is success, cosmic habit force. So I was on my walk at this point. This right here, never give up on a dream just because the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass. And underneath here, I was typing the word this, and these words came up. I'm not even going to read them, not here on this live. These words came up underneath, and it was absolutely so crazy. I was like, what just happened? And I sent my daughter that, and she said, what? Who actually typed that? And I said, I don't know. She said, because that's aggressive. And I was like, I know. And she said, that's scary. And I said, I don't know what has happened. And I said, you know, it was in a ladies group that I've been connected to for years, and she's coming on to team and blah blah. And I was like, what's going on? And she said, I know you say it's not, but it says you did. and I said, she said, that's awful. I said, it's Spiritual Freedom Saturday. You know, I'm gonna share it on my live. She says, that's scary. I know, but do you know what I mean? So, that's me wanting to go back to the shop. This is my vision board for my visual journal of manifesting what is on my vision board. I actually gave my ex-husband the 5 love languages, and I think it's really, really cool. So that is it. I think I've had you on here long enough, and I really appreciate you spending this time with me for this virtual vision board challenge. Again, do the homework. I will put all the links, the resources that I share in the site. Enjoy it. It's lovely. It's such a process, and I didn't know what was going to happen from the beginning of the week to the start of the week. And we finish on Financial Freedom Sunday. And when you trust it, you ask, believe, we shall receive. I love you. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I shall speak to you soon. Big love. Take care.